Hi everyone, and welcome back to Mission 1820 and this week's episode of Have You Ever Wondered? If you're just joining us, we are in a new series called Books of the Bible, where we are giving introductions into each book of the Bible in just 5 minutes or less. So, without further ado, let's get to this week's book. The Book of Ruth, this is the 8th book of the Bible, and it's also the 3rd book of the 12 historical books in the Old Testament. Now, the Book of Ruth is the narrative of a story of love, devotion, and redemption, but it also shows the difference between what happens when a nation is in disobedience to the covenant of God, which we just seen in the book of Judges, and when God's people follow in faithfulness within the covenant, as we see in the book of Ruth. Now, the book is about a Moabite woman named Ruth, and she married the son of a Judean couple living in Moab. Now, after the death of her husband Mahlon, Ruth decided to move to Judah with her mother-in-law Naomi instead of remaining with her own people. Now, the book's going to tell you about the lives of 3 people. You're going to read about Ruth and also Naomi. She's Ruth's mother-in-law. And then you're going to read about Boaz, who's going to eventually become Ruth's future husband. Now, the book is a beautifully crafted look at how God's good purpose interplays with human decision as well as showing the providence of God. The book is a very short book, and it only covers 4 chapters. It's going to be divided into 2 sections. The first section is about Ruth's love being demonstrated between her and Naomi. This is found in chapters 1 and 2. The second section is Ruth's love being rewarded between her and Boaz. Now, this is found in chapters 3 and 4. The author of the book is unknown. However, there are some that believe that Samuel may have written it, which is unlikely because there is evidence showing that it was written after his death. There's also quite a bit of uncertainty about the date that Ruth was actually written, but the most prevalent view is sometime between 1011 BC and 931 BC. The setting of the book begins in the heathen country of Moab. This is a region that's northeast of the Dead Sea, but then it moves into the town of Bethlehem. And it takes place during those dark days of failure and rebellion of the Israelites, which we now know as the period of the Judges. The entire book itself covers around 12 years of time. There are a few themes in the book as well, but a major theme is that of the kinsman redeemer Boaz. Now, he's a wealthy relative of Naomi on her husband's side, and it shows how he acted upon his duty from the Mosaic law, which required the redemption of poor relatives from their dire circumstances. Now, as you read the book, you're going to find that Ruth is a spiritual model to all of us. But more importantly, she is a role model to the women of the church, and we do need to get to know her story. You know, I enjoy doing these Books of the Bible introductions because not only do they help us to gain an understanding of each book that we read, but it also helps us to see the trees through the forest when we are reading these stories. Also, by learning some of the basic truths about the Book of Ruth, this is going to help us better understand just how its contribution goes to the Word of God. So God bless, and thanks for watching.